I'm Ronnie, and you're listening to Clean With Me, the podcast where I walk you through cleaning your house step by step. When you clean along with this show, you'll get more done in less time so you can spend the rest of your day doing what matters most to you. Thanks for joining me. In today's episode, we're going to be working in your bedroom, and I'm going to talk you through decluttering your drawers and closet. It's going to be fun, and by the end of the episode, you're going to be way more organized than you were to begin with, and you're going to love your clothes again. Let's get right into the episode. So the first thing I want you to do is grab up any dirty laundry that you have and take it to the laundry room and start a load of laundry. That way your washing machine's working for you while you're working in your bedroom. And then the other thing I want you to do, if it has not already been done, is make your bed, because you're going to need a place to put things, and that gives you a nice staging area, and it also makes your room look better immediately, and that can improve your outlook. You might also want to shut your door and lock it, because I'm going to be encouraging you to try some things on so that you can make the decisions about them. If you came to clean your house, listen to one of our other episodes, but obviously decluttering makes it easier to clean. And no, I'm not going to make you get rid of all your stuff, but I'm going to help you make those hard decisions with real life examples. I literally just decluttered my drawers and closet, so I experienced all of those emotions, and they're fresh, and I've got lots of examples to talk about. So hopefully you are starting a load of laundry and making your bed. You might also want to just quickly pick up your bedroom floor. In the last bonus episode for financial supporters, I talked about how important it is to do that surface cleaning in your bedroom and not get sidetracked by decluttering your wardrobe and dealing with a lot of laundry and stuff like that. But that was that episode. Now it's time to actually do some decluttering, but at the same time, you might want to just do a quick pickup of your bedroom floor. You made your bed, so you might as well remove any clutter from the floor. This is not the type of decluttering session where we're going to just trash your room in the process. I don't know about you, but I don't like to even empty an entire drawer when I'm decluttering. I like to keep things real manageable and not make much of a mess at all. Of course, there's a time and a place for vacuuming out a drawer and completely emptying it, but I did that in the last decluttering session, so this time I did not completely empty any drawers. I'm going to give you about 1 more minute to get ready for this decluttering session. Hopefully you've started a load of laundry, made your bed, and done a quick straighten of your room. Another thing you may want to do is grab a donation bag. In fact, this is pretty essential. I grabbed a paper shopping bag with handles on it. You know how sometimes you're out shopping, you get something big, and they give you a really nice large paper bag with handles. Those make great donation bags. So I had one of those in my closet and started putting items into that bag. So hopefully by now you're ready to get started. Now you might want to start in a specific drawer of your dresser, or you might want to start with another area where you've kind of set some things aside. For example, last year, over the course of 7 or 8 months, I lost 25 pounds. And there was a point where I tried on some things that were a little bit loose, and I was kind of on a roll with losing weight and planned to just keep going. And so I took some things out of circulation that actually still fit. They were just a tiny bit loose in the waist. It was mainly jeans and shorts. And I put those up in the top of my closet because I kind of knew that I probably shouldn't donate them, but I wanted to wear my smallest stuff because I was excited that I had just lost weight, if that makes sense. So when I went through this decluttering session, I pulled all of that stuff down from the top shelf of my closet where I was keeping it. I grabbed a chair, got all of that down, put it in a pile, and just started trying it on. A couple items did go into the donation bag, but a lot of them I came to my senses. I showed them to my husband. I'm like, do these look baggy or do these look good? He loved it that I was just modeling all these clothes, but I would have him, judge each thing, and we were in total agreement. So basically I decided to keep some stuff, and that's rare. Usually like when in doubt, throw it out or something. But I decided to keep some stuff, but I was just in a really weird mode. My point is, it was a rare situation where I had set some things aside, kind of in a think about it pile. And some of them went back into circulation, and a couple of them were too loose, but only a couple. So you know where the clothes are that you want to start with or go through at first. And I know for a while the Marie Kondo method was all the rage. I bought the book, read it. I'm not going to say I Marie Kondo'd my house after reading the book. I really didn't. I feel like it did give me some motivation to downsize, I guess, but it didn't really resonate with me that much. With her method, it was like you put everything, all of your clothes in a pile or something. Yeah, that's overwhelming to me. By the way, some of you might be like wondering, are you a minimalist or are you a clothes horse? Which you don't hear that term very often anymore, but it's someone who has a lot of clothes. I feel like I'm very middle of the road. By the way, you're supposed to be sorting things into a donation bag, a keep pile. Pulling everything out is overwhelming for me, so I like to look at items of a certain category. I made a pile of jeans, tried them on, jeans and jean shorts. Okay, so that's a good category to start with. One pair that I threw away had a huge ink blot on it. I could have made them into cutoffs, but I have enough cutoffs. I like to break things down into categories, basically. So let's talk about what to do with different things. You need to either hide or get rid of clothes that don't fit your body today. Here's what I mean by hiding them. I was talking to a listener, and I already touched on this in another episode, so I'm just going to do a quick recap. I was talking to a listener who her weight has always fluctuated, so she didn't want to get rid of all of her stuff. And let's face it, a lot of influencers are like telling us to get rid of things that don't fit us right now because we might never be that other size again and it's going to make us feel bad, this and that. But not all of us can afford new stuff at any given time. So this was my advice to this particular listener. She lives alone and has another bedroom in her house that has some clothes in it. I said, organize your wardrobe and just put everything that doesn't fit you now in that other room. And then in your closet, in your bedroom, everything in there should be something that fits you now, that you feel good in now, and that you wear now. And it's going to do two things. It's going to keep you from feeling bad about not fitting into those other items. And it's also going to help you get ready faster because you're not going to be sorting through things that don't fit. And maybe the things that didn't fit were kind of smashed onto one side of her closet. But still, she would be able to kind of spread her things out a little bit more and not have her closet so jam-packed if her main closet in her bedroom was just stuff that she currently wears. So I thought that was a great solution. And I said, there probably are some things that you need to get rid of. I mean, we've all bought trendy items like, 10 or so years ago. Like I just had to have a long maxi dress that was a chevron pattern and a long maxi skirt that was chevron, and it was just all the rage. It was all over my Pinterest, and now that looks really dated. So yes, there are some things that are outdated, but I feel like the older we get, like we're not buying as many trendy items. A trendy piece that I got, last year, the year before, time flies, I don't know, was kind of a crop sweater with like large holes in it. It's kind of a mesh. I don't know if I'm ready to get rid of it yet, but one reason I might get rid of something is if I've been photographed too much in the item and it's kind of a trendy item. You know, you can't get photographed too much in just a plain black t-shirt, but these items that are super specific and trendy, you especially don't want to be photographed in them again year after year. I'm not just at an age where I don't care what I wear or something like that. But at the same time, I try to choose things that are more timeless. I rarely buy trendy items. Like I thought about that specific sweater, but I rarely buy anything trendy. I buy stuff that's in style, but not trendy. Let's put it that way. For example, for a while they were saying like skinny jeans are out. Now they're saying they might be back in, but I feel like they never fully went out. Maybe for a teenager in high school. Yeah, I wasn't making my daughter wear them to school or something, but I feel like they were still in for people my age, and I'll tell you why. They were still selling them in the stores. I mean, when something's totally out, it's not in the store. So maybe this will help you. By the way, you're supposed to be sorting things into a donation bag, a keep pile, and then maybe put things in the trash that are too damaged, or you might even have a fourth category, which is sell. Okay. I don't want to go off on a rabbit trail about selling things, but I did go through a phase a while back where I was selling clothes on eBay. I have friends who have a knack for getting things that are name brands and then selling them to consignment shops. If that's something that you enjoy doing and you have the time to do it, a lot of times full-time homemakers do this, or for some people, this is their hustle. They find something in a thrift store, they flip it for money. But for a lot of us, we don't really have the time or want to make the time, because you make time for what you want to do. A lot of us just don't want to do it. We're not in a season of life where we want to do that. So you might have a pile for stuff that you could sell. It is really hard, in my experience, to sell things to consignment shops because, like I was saying, most of my clothes are not name brands, and they only want things in certain seasons, certain brands, and then they give you pennies on the dollar for it. But don't get me wrong, some people have a knack for it and they do great with it. Like they get something secondhand to begin with and then sell it to a consignment shop, and it's a win-win. But for a lot of us, we're just going to donate the stuff. It's either going to be keep, trash, or donate. Okay, but you should be sorting things into those piles. But the stuff I'm talking about is to help you make decisions. Okay, so obviously we all deal with clothes that don't fit our body. They're too small or they're too big. And one school of thought is to get rid of everything that doesn't fit you now, because by the time it fits you, it might be out of style. But at the same time, if you know your weight historically fluctuates, you might want to do what I told this listener to do and move things into a different closet. And you might be saying, I don't have, an empty closet. Like every room in my house is occupied. I've got kids. Okay, I get that. But there are those like flat plastic containers where you can store your clothing like under the bed or something. I have a section in my closet that's kind of a hidden corner that I like to put things. I put seasonal items in there. Like that's where you would find my St. Patrick's Day shirts. I have a couple of those. They're in a corner that you can't really see in my closet. And at the beginning of fall, I usually put some sleeveless tops in that corner. I do wear the knit tank tops like as undershirts throughout the year, but certain sleeveless tops that I would wear as standalones go into that corner. So that's kind of how I sort my stuff, but I don't have like tons of clothes or anything. But yeah, I realize that some of you need to just get rid of things that you're never going to fit into it again. Like, I don't know, if you're as old as I am, I'm over 50 years old. Okay, I'm not going to get back to my high school weight. I wouldn't look good at that weight. Here's the kind of the mic drop moment, I guess, about weight fluctuations. Your clothes that are too small aren't making you smaller by holding on to those. And your clothes that are too big for you aren't making you gain weight. Your size has nothing to do with what kind of clothes are in your closet. So don't tell yourself that staring at these small things is going to motivate you. It probably is not. So you might want to store them out of sight or get rid of them. Either way is fine. And there's there's pros and cons of each. Another thing is just items that someone gave you. I have a quick story for that. A dear lady gave me a dress and she was excited about giving it to me, and I graciously accepted it. I took it home, tried it on, and just thought, who am I kidding? I will never wear this. I will never wear this. And it just wasn't my style. It was flattering, whatever, but it was kind of dated. It wasn't my style. But she's so sweet, love her dearly, didn't want to offend her. She's an older lady. She won't hear this podcast. The dress looked too old for me for sure. And it went in the donation bag today. But at first I was keeping it out of guilt because I was thinking, what if she asks about it? Or maybe I should make an appearance around her one time in it and just, wear a long sweater over it so not all of the dress shows. These are things that crossed my mind. But what ended up happening is she said, so did that dress fit? Yeah, it did. Thanks again. And I wasn't lying. It did fit when I tried it on. So I kept it for an appropriate length of time, which is maybe a couple months, and it's in the donation bag now. So you can release items someone gave you that you never wear. Most people are not going to question you on why they haven't seen you in the item. I mean, appreciate the gift and the person's good intention, and there's no need to embarrass them. And some people you're closer to, and you can just be like, no, to be honest, I will never wear that. Like my mom recently over Thanksgiving told me to go shopping in her closet. Well, it's my mom, so I'm totally honest with her. And, oh, that looks good. She had me try on a bunch of stuff. And I was like, I will probably never wear this. Like, I just told her what I wasn't going to wear, and I didn't take anything that I wasn't going to wear. And my mom's picky about what she wears too, so she totally gets it. But sometimes there are situations where the person's really excited to give something to you, and you've got to accept it. Like I have an aunt who loves thrifting and giving people stuff, and some of the stuff is really odd, but we all graciously accept it for the most part. So it is okay to graciously accept something, but then donate it because you're never going to wear it. Pass it on. And I'm not going to get into where to donate stuff, but there are so many different places that accept clothing. And you can choose which cause that you're really into. Even if there's a charity with a thrift store and you're not sure what percentage of it goes to charity, or it's a really small percent, you can think of it this way. People who do not have much money are able to purchase your items for only a couple bucks at a thrift store. And if it wasn't for people like you donating stuff, then they'd have to pay full price and get it at a department store or even Walmart, where it's going to cost them more. So you're helping people in a lot of different ways. It's common for thrift stores to hire people who are recovering drug addicts or who have disabilities. So you're helping to provide jobs for people who otherwise might struggle to find a job. So there's my little talk on donating, but also no judgment here if you just throw something away because there's not a good place to donate. You live out in the middle of nowhere or something. Okay, don't come at me for that. I don't want anyone to be a slave to their stuff. But usually it's good to just put it in a bag, put it in the back of your car, and then you're going to end up driving by a place where you can donate it later on. It might be in the back of your car for a couple months. That's okay. And hopefully you're just sorting through things, and trying things on. If you come across something and you're like, I don't know if this fits, try it on. Or here's another example. There's a shirt that I bought fairly recently. I was super excited to find it, but it shrunk and it got a little short. And it wasn't too short. And I was telling myself, oh, it's okay. I'll wear an undershirt under it, or I'll wear it with higher waisted pants. But the problem was just the shape of it and where it hit at the waistline didn't look good anymore once it shrunk. And I don't care how heavy you are, how thin you are. It's very important where something hits around the waistline, just how things hit. It's important. And we're all different shapes and sizes. Anyway, I got rid of the shirt because I remembered the last time I put it on, I just didn't want to wear it. And so I tried it again I tried it on again to kind of refresh my memory. And it was like, Yeah, I think what it is just where it hits, because I have lots of things that are this short that come right to the waist. Now that I put it on, it's just not flattering the way it hits me at the waistline. Tossed it. It was super cheap anyway. That's probably why it shrunk. Okay. But let me just go on a rabbit trail here. I see people who are dressing ultra trendy, and in doing so, they're wearing things that are not flattering to their figure. You know, sometimes there's a temptation to get on a bandwagon and, you know, get something that you see a lot of people have and it looks good on them, and it doesn't mean it's going to look good on you. So I guess what I'm saying is the older I get, I realize that certain things work well with my figure, and I'm not going to wear things that are just outdated or whatever, but I'm also not going to buy a bunch of trendy items that are not flattering to my figure. Like, I'm going to go moderate and wear things that hit me right at the waist. I think the most important thing when dressing for your figure is how things hit you at the waist. Like, some people should not be wearing a dress that's tight in the waist. Some people should not be wearing a high-waisted shirt with a high-waisted skirt with their shirt tucked in. You know, certain shirts can look too boxy on you. I can hold up a shirt without even trying it on and know whether it's going to be flattering to my figure. Call me picky or whatever, but I'm not going to buy something just because it's trendy. So that's another category of things that you're going to get rid of, things that do not look good on you. And if you come across an item and you remember a time where you put it on and then decided not to wear it, time dims the memory and you might be thinking you want to give it another chance. Try it back on and then make the decision. Like I said, I want you to try things on, because what happens if you don't try things on during a wardrobe decluttering session is you're going to make these maybe piles or these procrastination piles, and you're going to have these doom boxes. And I want you to just try it on and make the decision now. You know, instead of wasting your time the next time you're getting ready for an event and put on that same thing that you keep rejecting. Try it on now, get it out of your system, get rid of it. Okay? And maybe if you were in a weird mindset where you tried to get rid of all of your jeans because you thought you were going to lose 10 or 15 more pounds and then didn't, try them back on and, you know, maybe decide to bring them back into circulation like I did. But needing to bring things back into circulation is pretty rare. And it wouldn't have hurt me if I had just donated them, because I have plenty of jeans. So, you know, is what it is. I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because now I have even more. And there was still a part of me that was thinking, yeah, but I'm going to lose more weight and I'm not going to have these. I'll just say it. I have pants ranging anywhere from size 8s to 14s. I only have one pair of 8. Okay. Probably the most common size I have in jeans is 12. Okay. I wear a lot of 12s. I wear several 10s. I have one pair of dressy pants that I wear when I'm working at the school that are 8s. It's kind of a fluke, I guess. And I have a couple pairs of jeans that are 14s, and I wanted to get rid of them because of that number, but that's ridiculous. And you can always do what my sister-in-law used to do years ago. I don't mind throwing this person under the bus at all. Years ago, my sister-in-law gave me some maternity clothes, and you know, she's a competitive type, and she cut the size tags off of them so that I wouldn't know what size they were. I mean, it was just comical, because, like, how am I going to judge her for being a certain size when I'm going to put them on and wear them? Like, obviously she thought they'd fit me, and they did fit me, but she didn't want me to know what size they were. And no, she didn't cut the tags out to make the clothes more comfortable. She literally told me that she didn't want me to know what size they were. Don't even get me started on this person. But nobody can really pin me down on which side of the family this person is on, or which sister-in-law it is. So I'm going to get away with it. I'm not going to make a short clip isolating this moment, but I'm going to get away with it. And if I don't, I don't. It's still really weird. So yeah, don't get hung up on the sizes. Try them on is my point there. Hopefully you're plugging away at sorting things into piles without making a huge mess in the process. another category of clothing to get rid of is stuff that just doesn't fit your lifestyle. For example, I used to go to churches that were super dressy, but sometimes it's a combination of things. You move to another part of the country where people are less formal. Over time, our society as a whole has gotten more casual. So, combination of me moving to another part of the country where people don't dress up as much for church, and the fact that society is getting more casual as a whole, and the fact that I go to a more relaxed style of church than I used to. So many different factors, but long story short, I don't need as much dressy clothing now. Don't get me wrong, I still like to put on a dress for church. I'm not just, wearing jeans every time or something, but I do sometimes wear pants if it's super cold, or if I just don't feel like coordinating some dress outfit with the perfect shoes and fake tanning stuff on my legs or whatever. I'll just put on pants because it's easier. Sometimes I feel like just wearing jeans. I'm recording this on a Sunday. I wore jeans and a dressy blouse today, and we actually go to two different churches, and one of them's even more casual than the other, but I could definitely wear jeans to either church. Again, I do have dresses and stuff, but I don't need a bunch of unique dressy church outfits. Don't get me wrong. I definitely dress up for weddings, funerals, job interviews, if that comes up. I'm a firm believer in the little black dress. I have two of them. I have one black dress that's kind of short and sleeveless. And then I have another one that's long sleeved and more form fitting, but not short. So I either do short or I do tight, but I don't do short and tight together. I'm not a prude or anything, but I don't do short and tight at the same time. I either do tight or I do short. So anyway, and it's not that short. But anyway, if you have a black dress, you can accessorize it in different ways, and you're definitely ready for a funeral or a formal dinner of some sort. Since I go to church, I'm ready for a wedding. The only thing I don't really have is like an actual formal. And I think the only reason I would need that is if I went on a cruise. A while back, my best friend Amy, who handles my social media on Facebook, her and her husband put a deposit down on a cruise for us to go with them on a cruise. And we were super excited about it, and I was going to get a formal and all that, but it ended up getting canceled due to COVID. So this was during the pandemic. So we never ended up going on a cruise, but I don't own a formal, but I'm pretty much, I think a lot of people don't own a formal, like once they get out of high school, but, that's the only thing I can think of that I don't have, but I could definitely go to a dressy wedding or a black tie affair of some sort, in one of my black dresses. So anyway, can't go wrong with a little black dress. So I'm not saying to get rid of all of your dressy clothes if you don't dress up much. You need to be ready for things. And some of us like the opportunity to go shopping. Oh, a wedding's coming up. I'm going to go buy an outfit. That's always fun. But it also feels good to be prepared for something like that in case you don't have the time or money to go shopping for an outfit. You're ready to go. So definitely have something for weddings, funerals. But maybe you worked an office job where you wore a lot of blazers. You could always declutter your wardrobe down to like one favorite blazer that you could wear for a job interview or something. One of the things that I decluttered was a blazer that didn't really hang right on the shoulders, but yes, I still have the quintessential black blazer that I'll wear at some point when I need to look professional, but it's not going to be often that I need to wear a blazer, so I only need one, and I only own one, and I got rid of the ones that were too big. So yes, it's okay to let go of clothing that you wore for a prior life or a life that you aspire to have. Dress for the life you have right now. Be prepared for, the occasional night out. I'm big on being prepared for different occasions. Like if I go to a country concert, I've got a pair of cowgirl boots. I've got a t-shirt, with a country singer's name on it. I've got jeans with little rhinestones on the pockets. But I don't have a whole wardrobe of things like that because that's not what I wear on a day-to-day basis. I mean, no judgment here. If you're really into dressing country like every day, then that's your everyday clothing. But you only need one or two things for specific occasions, I guess is what I'm getting at. And when you go to the concert, you want to have an excuse to get another t-shirt. So here's a little tip. Make sure your husband's not listening for this one. If your husband tends to complain about how much clothing you buy, you got to get rid of some stuff so that he doesn't think you have too much and then gripe about you buying new stuff. So sometimes getting rid of stuff gives you an excuse to get new stuff. Just a little marriage tip there. Anyway, you might have clothing from a job or a different type of church or whatever that you don't need anymore. Let's see. What about releasing things that make you feel bad? They make you feel angry, sad. Like there are certain things that will take you back to a real negative experience. Okay. Now, I'm definitely in favor of keeping something that helps you relive fond memories of your dearly departed loved one. But what if it was the shirt you wore when the person died and it just brings back these terrible memories or whatever? That's different. You see what I'm saying? What about just a mildly negative memory where you put something on and somebody made a weird comment about it? I don't know about you, but if my husband makes a negative comment about something I wear, I might never wear it again. Now, sometimes I'll just disagree with him and wear it when he's not around or something, but a lot of times it ruins it for me and I get rid of it. Or one of the things I decluttered today, like I told you, like a lot of these emotions are fresh. One of the things I decluttered today was a pair of pants where when I put it on, and I work at my kids' school, so they do care what I wear. I put it on and one of my teenagers was like, "Mom, why are you wearing those pants?" And I went ahead and wore them because I didn't want the kid to like win, or you know what I mean? I didn't want them to think that they're going to tell me what to wear. I didn't want to set that kind of precedent. But yeah, I don't want to just keep embarrassing them. So they went in the donation bag. And I have at least 3 other pairs of black pants. 3 or 4. 4 or 5. Okay, I didn't need them. By the way, I have a lot of black clothes. I was saying earlier, I like the idea of a capsule wardrobe, but I'm not that minimalist. But at the same time, I do like my wardrobe to center around certain colors. I wear a lot of black, white, burgundy. Those are kind of my primary colors that I wear. Not primary colors in the sense that they're called primary colors, but main colors that I wear: black, white, burgundy. But to a lesser extent, I like wearing purple, rose pink, navy blue, fuchsia. And I like to have a lot of purses, tote bags, crossbodies. And it's always a bonus when a bag has both black and tan on it. In fact, I recently got a small purse that's black, tan, and gray. And it's the type of purse you'd wear to a dressy event where it's super small. Like there's enough room in it for a small wallet and some essential items of makeup and maybe a tiny comb or something, in case your hair gets windblown. But it's super small and it could go with any of my shoes. So, except the burgundy shoes. I probably wouldn't wear it with my burgundy shoes, but it would go with all of my tan shoes, all of my black shoes, and a pair of gray shoes that I have. So I like that. And one other thought on purses and handbags, I'm not going to tell you to downsize those unless you want to. But something that I learned a long time ago, when my kids were little and, I'd have a baby and start carrying a diaper bag, I would sometimes accidentally leave my purse in a restaurant. And I never did that before I started carrying a diaper bag. And it's because I'm only used to carrying one purse. So something that I did in those days was I would downsize to a really small purse, and then I would keep it inside the diaper bag when we'd go out to restaurants and whatnot. And it was also convenient if I dropped a baby off in the church nursery, I could pull my purse out in case I wanted to put on some chapstick during the service or whatever, but leave the diaper bag there. And then also there were phases where I just kept my wallet in the diaper bag, but I kind of liked the small purse within a bigger bag method, and I still do it, and I'll explain in a minute. But you go somewhere, you're out running around with your baby, and you're like, okay, I'm going to go in the store. I don't want to carry the whole diaper bag. So then you pull out the little purse. You leave the diaper bag in the car and you pull out that little purse when you go into the grocery store. But when you're at church or restaurants or a friend's house, you've got the little purse inside of the diaper bag, so you only have to grab one bag and not forget it. Well, now my version of that is sometimes I carry a small purse and put it inside of a larger tote bag. And for a while, it was stressing me out to change purses because I tend to put like my bank card, my credit cards in random compartments in my purse instead of in the wallet. You know how it is when you're in a hurry at the register or whatever. So sometimes I would switch purses and I'd accidentally leave an important card in the purse that was at home and then I wouldn't have it. And that kind of freaked me out. So I went through a phase where when I was getting ready for church, if my shoes did not match the current purse I was using, I would place the purse into a larger tote bag. For example, I have a gray and black tote bag. So when I was dressed in gray and black, I would stick a brown purse inside that tote bag and then with my Bible and stuff, and everything matched, but I didn't have to like do the dreaded purse switch. Lately, I've been more comfortable with switching purses, and I've created a new habit of putting my debit card into my wallet. So that's a thing now. And when I go teach in the school, I grab my makeup bag and my small wallet. I have a small wallet and a big wallet, but I grab my makeup bag and my small wallet, put them into my tote bag. Then if I want to stop by, because sometimes on the way home, my husband's like, can you stop and pick up blah, blah, blah. I will sometimes just grab the wallet and walk into the store with it rather than take the whole tote bag in. But anyway, that's a rabbit trail, but might help somebody. I've talked about it in old episodes, but I don't expect you to have heard all of the episodes. But you definitely need a way to organize your purses and tote bags, whether it's wide hooks or you're putting them on a shelf. If you have really expensive bags, they say don't like hang them on a hook. But I use hooks that have like a rubber coating on them, and that's fine. But I also have a shelf in my closet I could use if I needed to. I definitely recommend having a shoe rack in your closet, just an organization tip there. And don't store too much on the floor of your closet. Part of cleaning out your closet, other than sorting through your wardrobe, is just getting the floor clear. From time to time, I have to pick up clothes that have fallen in my closet. And I cleaned my closet floor today while I was going through my wardrobe. So that might be something you need to work on. When you're decluttering, a lot of times you'll find something and it actually saves you money. I was just saying earlier that I needed to buy a pair of insoles for a particular pair of shoes, and I was literally going to do it, and then I found a pair of insoles that were mine that I forgot I even had in the bottom of my closet. So it was like, boom, I don't have to buy these anymore. And it's also always fun when you're cleaning out your closet, check the pockets of all of your coats and jackets and all of your handbags, because sometimes you'll find a $20 bill and that's always nice. So just to recap on things that you should get rid of, hide or get rid of clothes that don't fit your body today. You might just want to set them aside and take them out of circulation temporarily. Get rid of items that someone gave you that you never wear. Get rid of most of the clothes that don't fit your lifestyle. You know, what if you used to play tennis all the time? You might want to save one tennis outfit or something, for example. Or save one blazer, even though you work in a casual environment or you're a stay-at-home mom. If you have a formal and you wore it on a cruise and it still fits you, keep it for the next cruise. I've never even been on a cruise, but I just know it's a thing because Amy told me about the formals and stuff. Let's see. Release anything that makes you feel sad or bad. We talked about that. If you only think these certain negative thoughts when you see a certain object, why would you keep that object? Just get rid of it. And here's another tip. You don't have to tell your spouse everything you're getting rid of when it's yours. Obviously my husband doesn't want me to get rid of anything of his, just like I don't want him to get rid of anything of mine. But I also don't need to explain what I'm getting rid of and why. Put it in a black trash bag, tie a knot in it, and don't tell anybody what's in there. It's your business. It's your stuff, your business. Let's see. Oh, here's another tip. If you think that someone's going to ask you if you still have something, they're probably not. Because have you ever been in a situation where somebody's at your house and they see something that they gave you like decades ago and they're like, "Oh, you still have that?" They're surprised you still have it. That means it's okay if you would have gotten rid of it because they wouldn't have even thought of the item. They weren't even expecting you to just carry it with you through life. And every time you've moved and every time your weight's fluctuated, et cetera, they're not expecting you to keep things forever. Maybe if it's a family heirloom like a piece of jewelry, but in most cases, they're not expecting you to keep these things forever. No, I'm not going to give you a lecture on minimalism, but what I am going to say is if your drawers are overstuffed and you don't have the space or the money to get another dresser, try to hang up as much as you can. But if you still don't have room to put away all your clothes, get rid of some stuff. Whenever my dresser gets too full, it's not usually because I need to get rid of stuff, because I'm not a clothes horse and I am kind of minimalist and I do get tired of things and I do decide I've been photographed in something too many times, or it looks too worn out or whatever. Eventually I do give up on things and get rid of them. And I'm rough on stuff. I stain stuff, I wear stuff out. But a lot of times it's that I've been getting a little lazy and putting things in the drawer that I could be hanging up. Because a lot of us have more room in our closet than we do in our dressers. So that's another tip. Maybe your dresser could be just for things like undergarments, pajamas, little tank tops and shorts, little small things that, the smaller items that are harder to put on a hanger, I guess. Your little cami tops, your slips, things like that, socks, and a lot of your other stuff you can hang up. This is super extreme, but I've seen some videos about this where people will have a basket for each of their kids, and when they do the laundry, they just put each item into the basket. Like this lady had 3 kids. She pulls out a load of laundry and it's her kids' laundry, and she sorts it into baskets depending on what kid it belongs to. And then they just live out of that little basket. Some of you are really cringing. I'm even cringing. But at the same time, I have been guilty of having like a large clean laundry pile where my kids have at times had to dig through the pile to find something to wear. So it's really not much different, and it's actually better if they had this little basket of their own stuff. So that might work for somebody. Some of you are going to hate it, but some of you it might resonate with. Some of you might be like, yeah, I'm just going to do that. My version of it is I don't fold socks or underwear. I just put them in the person's drawer. I mean, my kids do their own laundry, but when they were younger, I would just, oh, these are so-and-so's socks. I'd put them in the drawer. And then when that person gets dressed, they just pull out 2 of the same sock and put them on. And my mom always folded the socks together. At some point, I just started putting them in the person's drawer loose, and nothing terrible happened. Some of you are more organized, you're if former military or something, like this is not going to resonate with you. And, I was raised with the socks folded together. You had socks and underwear in your top drawer. Next one was shirts. Next one was pants, et cetera, et cetera. But, we all go through different seasons of life, and some of us struggle with laundry. When my kids were younger, I mainly hung up their dressy stuff, and then their casual clothes were folded and put in drawers but at the same time, there was also a clean laundry pile. So sometimes they didn't find what they needed in their drawers. I'm not proud of this, but just the laundry was a weak point. I was good about washing and drying the laundry, not so good about folding it and putting it away. So if you are into extreme minimalism, you could have like a little basket for each kid. And a lot of experts recommend having a setup in your laundry room where you do everything right there, meaning you've got a place to fold and then you have a place to put the clean stuff. You have hangers for their clothes and a little bar, and you've got a little cubby for each person's folded items and whatnot. So, that's beyond the scope of this episode. It's not really about doing laundry. It's about organizing your drawers and closet. Another tip for organizing your drawers is to use an old shoebox. Well, not an old shoebox, but just a shoebox from last time you bought a pair of shoes or whatever, to separate things. Like that could help you separate socks and underwear or bras or slips or whatever, items you want to sort in the drawers. Large shoe boxes, especially the ones that come with like boots and stuff, are great for organizing your drawers. So anyway, I hope you freed up some drawer space either by getting rid of stuff or hanging some stuff up. I hope you've got a good donation bag going. You're going to feel good kind of giving back, especially those of us who aren't just writing checks to charities. It can feel good to donate some stuff. That's a way to give back. I hope that you picked up your floor. I didn't really talk a lot about this, but during my session after I tried on a bunch of clothes, decided what to keep, what to donate, I cleaned up the bottom of my closet. I found some broken hangers, some trash, some random gloves that needed to be put away and things like that. And I cleared the floor of my closet. And the great thing about that is one of my backup recording stations is in my closet. It's not even a huge closet, but I have a little table in the very back with a microphone on it. And I can just take a chair in there and record if there's just a lot going on at my house and I need a quieter environment. I mean, some of you a while back said it was cute that there was a little pug snoring. No, it was actually my husband snoring, and I tried to edit that out. But in all seriousness, sometimes I record in the closet. Right now, I'm recording in my son's room. I'm not always in my desk that you've seen me in some videos or whatever. Like, I was thinking about doing full-length video podcasts, and I even did one recently. But the thing is, having you sit and stare at me while I podcast would just defeat the purpose. This is really an audio only show. I might make some videos in the future just so I can put some short clips on social media, but I think I'm going to keep this show mainly audio. So if you're watching on YouTube and wondering why you're seeing just a little sound wave instead of my face, it's because you're supposed to be cleaning while you're listening, and I'd rather concentrate on what I'm saying than worry about whether or not I'm looking at the camera. So I just know you got a lot done during this episode. Special thanks to my financial supporters who support the show either through an Apple Podcast subscription. Apple Podcasts is that purple podcast app, or on Patreon, which you can access directly through Spotify, or you can go straight to my Patreon link, or even the Spreaker Supporter Club, which is yet another way you can support the show. I'll have all those links in the episode notes, so be sure to check that out. And you can also visit cleanwithmepodcast.com, and you'll find all the links there as well. But I know not everyone is able to subscribe to bonus content. I just appreciate it when someone does, and I know that you'll benefit from those extra episodes. But even just listening to the show helps me, so be sure to click follow or the plus sign or subscribe on whichever app you're listening on. But most of all, just keep listening. Even just doing what you're doing right now helps me. I appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, happy cleaning. I'll talk to you in the next episode.